River City Podcast Federation.
Welcome back to Laughing in the Dark, the podcast where I hang out in haunted places with comedians. I'm your host, Sara Jones. You're listening to another fixture in our Minisode series where I get to talk to you about your ghost stories. In this Minisode, I got to talk to John from Kansas City, Missouri about multiple hauntings he's experienced in various homes he's been in. Here's the call. I hope you enjoy it.
Hello?
Hi, is this John?
I'm sorry, give me a second. I'm in a room with a fan. I'm going to go to the next room so it's a little quieter, okay?
Okay, no problem. Are you in a better room now?
I am, yes.
Oh, okay, good deal. So where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Independence, Missouri.
Missouri?
Yeah.
Is that a weird way to say that state, Missouri?
Well, you see, okay, so there's two kinds of people.
Uh-huh.
If you came from Kansas City or St. Louis, you say Missouri.
Uh-huh.
And if you came from anywhere else in the state, you say Missouri.
Oh, that's funny. I've never even heard that. I'm from Michigan,
Yeah,
so I just had no idea.
Yeah, it's just one of those weird dialect things. My family is from Albany, Missouri originally, and so that's the way they say it.
Oh, that's
So
so
I've always
funny.
said it.
That's awesome. All right, well, so do you mind telling us your name and something about yourself just to introduce yourself to listeners?
Well, my name's John, and I live in a state that people who live here commonly refer to as misery.
Yes. Okay, good deal. So, John, do you have a good ghost story for me?
Absolutely, I do.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It actually happened not too long from where I'm at. I was up one night, up late, probably it had to be after midnight, and I was helping my sister, or my girlfriend's sister, rather, get her Girl Scout troop stuff together, and we're just sitting there in their laundry room, kind of everything catch-all room, and putting these goodie bags together for these Girl Scouts, and we were just kind of talking, and as we're talking, she starts to tell me about the story, and this is a story that leads to my actual story. It's kind of important for those
Okay.
who know, and it's just a story on its own as well. And so we're sitting there, and she's telling me about how when she was a kid, they had a trailer, and it had a Dreamcatcher that hung right by the door, and this Dreamcatcher would move sometimes on it. It was always when they weren't home. It would go from a hook by the front door to a hook by the back door, and so they think their brother's messing with them or whatever. So he sets up a camera, and on the camera they capture this Dreamcatcher moving itself, just floating across the room by itself from one hook to the other.
From
And
one
so she
hook
tells
to
me
the
that-
other? Like it's connected to a hook?
Yes, it's like there's a hook by the front door, hook by the back door, and it kind of because it was really high up, it looked like someone had reached up and pulled it off of there and held it up high and walked it across the room, except nobody was there to pick it up and walk across the room. It just
So
by itself.
it's not like it flew across the room. It like floated across the room.
No, it floated as if it was being carried.
Wow.
And so I had a similar reaction where I was just like, are you serious? Is that really, so let me get this straight. This is how this went. And as I am asking those questions, behind me, there's a washer and dryer, and the dryer wasn't on. There was an almost full bottle of soap there. We had it, and I know for a fact that the soap was closed because I had just used it, and I, unlike the other people in the house at the time, did close the soap. And
Yeah.
as I'm asking this question, that bottle proceeds to throw itself off of the dryer to the point where it lands 4 feet away from the dryer and hit the ground so hard that the bottle is crushed open.
Whoa.
And so it smashed itself open on the ground.
Huh. Right as you were questioning that story.
Yes, as I was questioning that story, as if whatever did the first thing was just like, hey, I'm still here.
That is crazy. So where did that happen? Was that in that same house that you're in right now?
No, we're not in that house anymore. We moved to arguably a more haunted house.
What? Really?
But, yeah.
Well, why do you think your house now is more haunted?
Well, that house, it's one of those houses where you just get that feeling. I never saw anything in that new house, but there's a room where I just got that feeling. Like, I don't want to stay in there very long at night because I'm going to see some things.
Yeah.
Kind of a feeling.
Did anyone ever see anything in it?
In that house? No. They haven't seen anything yet, but I don't really talk to them anymore, so they might. I'm just used to not hearing about it.
Yeah. But just because of it's just funny to me that like you physically saw something happen in one house and you were like, that was really weird, but I moved into a way more haunted place. But it's more so just the ominous feeling that you get, you know?
Yeah, it's sometimes, older houses just have that air about them and you can tell something's here and it ain't happy.
No, it's not happy, huh?
It's not happy.
Wow. So, like, you feel threatened when you're in that one room or in all the rooms?
There's actually, so this is a weird house.
Okay.
Let me just tell you a little bit about the house. It's this, and I'm not going to give any details because, the people involved didn't do anything wrong, but somebody else technically might have. Well, so we got this house. We're moving from the house we were in that was falling apart originally. Like, literally, there are spots on the floor kind of where it's a little mush, the place kind of should have been condemned, both of them.
Yeah.
And we moved to the second house, and in the basement we found like hookups for lights, and we found like a big old money counter. It was clearly something they were, growing pot.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's evident by the way that the house was left because they sold it as is. And on the door, the upstairs, like the rooms that weren't the master bedroom, and the room to the back part of the house, they had little places for locks so that you could lock those bedroom doors and the door to the back of the house with padlocks from the outside. That's weird to me.
Yeah.
So they're preparing to lock people into those rooms. And the back part of the house, to explain kind of how it was, you got to know the geography of it. It was a big room with some windows on the side, this back room of the house, and it had like a little bitty cubby, kind of a nook place that came off of it, and that was where my room was. No door or anything. And then a little bit further, there was a bathroom and then an actual bedroom there. And that had a latch on the outside of the door, and it was a bigger, heavier, like metal door. Mm-hmm. And instead of having a padlock that just hung there, it had a crucifix that you would slide through the little hole to keep the door shut.
Weird.
And inside of that room was where I would have the bad feeling.
And just to clarify, it wasn't just a cross; it was a crucifix with Jesus on it.
No, it was. Yes, Jesus was on it. It was it was like a copper or brass kind of a crucifix that slid into the thing to keep that door closed.
And what did that door connect to? Is that to the whole back part of the house, to the hallway, the bathroom, and the bedroom, or was it just to? It's a big open room. On the other side of the door is a big open room, and that's where you always feel uneasy. In my little cubby hole, never felt a weird thing. Yeah. But right outside of that cubby hole, in that area with that leads off to the bathroom and the rest of the house and everything, you feel it. There's something that you feel you're definitely being watched from the moment you step out there. Yeah, because I have never heard of a crucifix being used as a lock, as like a deadbolt,
Well, it's like if you ever seen like a barn door, one of the doors will have a little circle, and the other door will have a little circle lower than it, and you can just put some kind of a straight piece of metal through it to keep the door shut. Mm-hmm. And it was like that, except the crucifix was the thing used, and I don't know why that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I've never seen. Because like that would be something that I feel like you would see in a horror movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or some kind of movie where when you open the door, there's a chick and her head spins around,
right,
and all that. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. So when did
Whatever
you move in?
was in there, I don't.
Yeah. Or still is. You don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
So when did you move into that house?
I moved into that house in July. Beginning of July of last year. I didn't live there for long.
So you don't live there anymore?
Family. Fortunately, I do not.
Yeah. Who does your family still live there or no?
It was actually my girlfriend's like god family, like her, godmother and godfather, and then their kids.
Uh-huh.
They still live there. Yeah, as far as I know.
Okay. Oh, I wonder if they have had any experiences there, because that's crazy. I've never heard of that. I feel like that is totally a horror movie thing, that like you would have to use a crucifix to lock a huge metal door. Like that's wild.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Whatever was behind the door. Yeah, they really didn't want it out.
They didn't want it out, and not only did they want like a strong, heavy door that they wanted deadbolted, but they had to apply religion to it. I don't know. That is really, really, really creepy.
That's a whole nother level of they don't like what's in that room. I mean,
and feeling threatened.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you think it feels like demonic in that room?
In my opinion, absolutely. I think it does.
Wow. But then when you compare it to the spirit that you saw throw the soap down in the other house, that didn't feel demonic to you? How did that feel?
Well, I couldn't really say, because my natural reaction to when that soap hit was adrenaline.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of messed with my perception of what I was, the spookiness factor at the time, because I was just like, oh, am I going to have to fight a ghost? And so because of that, I couldn't really give you an accurate read.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's okay. That's interesting. So wait, you said that, did you say it was your sister who caught the video of the Dreamcatcher moving?
Yeah, it was, I guess, so what had been happening is they were, this thing kept moving, and her and her mom were getting mad at their brother, thinking that their brother was just messing with them. And so he's like, no, I'm not. I'll set up our camera and prove it. And so he filmed it. Just left the camera rolling while no one was there and filmed it happening. He caught this on camera and, showed it to him and said, see, this isn't me. I don't know what it is, but it's not me. And unfortunately, the tape's not still around. That was the first thing I asked is, do you still have the tape? I want to see it.
Yeah.
And no, it just has been from, they've moved several times since then, and it just has gotten lost.
Oh, man. I was going to say, we should put up the video on the website. That'd be cool.
Absolutely. I would if I had it.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine. Oh, man. I would love to see that. Yeah. Oh.
As would I.
Oh, so you didn't see the video either? Like your family told you about it?
Unfortunately, I did not. But I do trust the person who told me about it. But I did not, unfortunately, have the pleasure of seeing the video.
Oh, man, what a bummer. It's like, how do people lose these things? Like, it's funny because like I'll hear a lot of stories of people being like, yeah, we caught something really creepy on video and our family did not want to mess with it. We wanted to get rid of it and not have it be a part of our lives. And I'm like, I don't get that. I would want the video forever. Like, I would be totally different.
I would find it too interesting.
Yes, me too.
I mean, because it's one of those things where I think, what you don't understand is to be studied, not, necessarily feared or run away from. So it's just like, hey, if you can learn about it, why not use that video to learn about it? Absolutely.
I completely agree with you. So have you had any other ghost story experiences, or has it been mainly these?
Oh yeah. I've had some other experiences.
Really? Well, would you mind telling me about them?
Absolutely. Sure. I would love to.
Oh, great.
So The most interesting one, I would say, would have to be my haunted painting.
Haunted painting?
Okay, so my grandpa Ken, who was kind of into, outdoors and, hunting and cowboys and Indians and stuff, his house had all kinds of cool little knickknacks and, carved Indian heads and, little trinkets. And I always thought they were the coolest thing. So when he died, I asked my family if I could have one of his paintings. He didn't paint them, but he liked them quite a bit. And they were like, cowboys herding cattle on the frontier, or cowboys and Indians fighting or something like that. And so I got one in particular that was cowboys and Indians fighting. And from the very start, that painting caused me some very weird issues. So at the time, I was going home, or I was living in an apartment, and I was going home to sleep every day after I got home, after work, because I worked hard. And so what started happening, literally the week that I got this painting, is I started having sleep paralysis.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it would sometimes happen. It only happened once a night. It was most of the time it would happen midday, and it was when I would lay on my bed in a certain way. Instead of laying on it, like a bed, I laid on it sideways, and my feet dangled off and touched the ground. And whenever I would fall asleep like that, invariably I would have sleep paralysis that night, or that afternoon, or whatever duration I'm sleeping, there'd be some sleep paralysis for me. And what that always was like for me is I would wake up and I would just be able to lift my head the slightest amount and barely able to open my eyes. And I would always hear things from the next room. And it would always be voices, people talking. Sometimes they'd be talking about what they were going to steal from my house, or how they were going to try to kill me or whatever. But it was always these conversations that were creepy. And I would have this thought in the back of my head, I need to get up, I need to do something about that. But then I couldn't move because sleep paralysis.
Right.
And I knew that I needed to get rid of the painting when I had a sleep paralysis episode like that. And mind you, I'd never had sleep paralysis before I brought this painting in my house.
Yeah.
Ever. I wake up and I'm looking straight at the door, and it was a 2-room apartment, my bedroom and then the main room. And I had, the door, where I was laying, I was facing directly at the door, and on the other side of the wall that the door was on was the painting leaning up against the wall, because I hadn't hung it yet. And from where the painting was sitting, I see the head of some black creature. And it wasn't black like, black fur. It was black like sucking in all the light around it, kind of black. And this was midday.
Was it like a shadow
during
person?
The day. It was like something that was so dark that it pulled in the light around it and made it dark.
Yeah, like a black hole.
It was like an absence of light kind of dark.
Whoa.
And I just see its head peek around as if it's a curious dog. It peeks around, looks at me, and then I just couldn't, remain in my partly awake state anymore, and I just knocked me right out.
You went back to sleep? You fell back asleep?
Yeah, my mind's just like, well, can't stay awake now, and just knocked me out.
Whoa. Oh, sorry. I was thinking about the position that you were laying in that made this happen. Do you know anything about that? Like, why was it that particular position that made you have the sleep paralysis, do you think?
I think that it was because whatever was in that painting knew that I was like, all right, you're positioned so you can watch the show. Okay, buddy. I'll put on a show for you.
You were facing the painting?
Well, I was facing the doorway where the painting was on the other side of.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
And so, I don't know. It just seems, and the weird thing is though, after I got rid of that painting, I haven't had sleep paralysis since. Not a single time.
I wonder why. That sounds like an evil entity. But was your grandpa?
The painting was haunted to me.
The painting itself. Your grandpa didn't make the painting, right? He just acquired it.
No, he didn't make the painting. He just acquired it.
Okay. Huh. That's wild.
It is definitely wild. I'm not sure if it's some sort of I could begin to guess the origin of what, where the painting came from or whatever, because he had had it for years and years when I got hold of it. Huh. All I know is that I left it with the people that I was living with, because they're just like, oh, we like that painting, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're like, you hold on to that.
Yeah, and they haven't really any problems about it. I've asked them, do you have any problems with this painting? And they're like, no, it's totally fine.
Oh, yeah, that was going to be my next question. Interesting. But maybe they didn't, maybe they didn't sleep in a way that made them vulnerable towards the painting, Because it seems...
might be, and it's in the living room at their house now, and so nobody can really look at it from their bedroom.
Unless they fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Weird. I've never had sleep paralysis.
Now it's gone dormant.
Yeah, I bet you're glad to be rid of it.
Oh, absolutely. That painting was not good. Whatever was there was not good.
Weird. Yeah, I've never had sleep paralysis, but I've heard stories about people that get it, but it's like your story where it's like only associated with one other thing. That's like they only have it while they're in one building or in one room. And that creeps me out. Because it's like some...
A lot of... go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's like something recognizes that you're vulnerable or for some reason can, access you, I don't know, in particular conditions, That's creepy to me.
Mm-hmm. That does sound kind of... that it's entirely possible that it is something like that.
Yeah, who knows?
It does seem to have very specific triggers, but I really couldn't begin to guess what they would be. I mean, people have thought all kinds of things from succubuses to whatever throughout the years, but I think there is definitely something going on with them.
Yeah. Like you had this feeling where you don't feel like that was like a dream. You feel like that was a real entity that looked at you.
It's one of those things where you generally know when you're asleep and when you're awake.
Yeah.
Especially in those sleep paralysis instances, you know that you're awake. And I was definitely awake and aware of what was going on.
Could you see its eyes?
Because I even remember the thought process that I have.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, could you see its eyes when it looked at you?
It didn't seem to have eyes. It was just like it was kind of, it had the shape, I could tell that it had an animalish body structure, but it had like a blank face, like as if it had a human head on its body, but the face was just this blankness. I mean, it was shaped as if there were spots for facial features, but they just never got put on. And so it has, the hollows for the eyes, and kind of the nose standing out, and so that was all flat. It was all nothing there.
And you said it turned its head like a curious dog. Ugh, that creeps me out.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's wild. Do you have any other stories, or I feel like you're full of them.
Let me think for a second. Off the top of my head, I don't, but there might be some other ones just floating around in my head. I'm not quite sure. I'll get back to you if I think of more, though.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing. That was amazing.
Well, thanks for having me on. I like telling stories.
Yeah, well, I liked hearing them. You have a great rest of your day, John. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Wow. I can't get past that crucifix deadbolt. That's both chilling and awesome to me. Definitely horror movie material. Thank you so much to John for your stories. It was so great talking to you. Do you have a ghost story that you want to share on the show? We want to hear from you. Email us the details of your story at litdarkpodcast@gmail.com. That's litdarkpodcast@gmail.com. We might want to put you on the show. As always, thank you so much for listening.
River City Podcast Federation.